Welcome to the Purity Pulse podcast, your go-to podcast for the natural health industry and everything purity life. I'm Erin Macklin.
And I'm Julie Drapeau.
And today we're going to get down to it. We're going to have our regular weekly check-in. We're going to interview the founder of FourX Better Chocolates.
Excellent.
And then we'll have our regular new to purity life. So this week, I feel like it's pretty intense. We're both in major preparation mode for...
Yes. We just look calm.
Yeah.
It's like the little duck with the legs underneath the table that are...
Yeah. CHFA.
Yes.
Here it comes.
Yeah, we're very excited. Every year we have the chance to do a trend talk, Erin and I.
Yes.
And there's amazing data. I just can't wait that we can share that with all of you. But definitely just a little sneak peek. We're definitely going to talk about performance nutrition, everything related to that, everything related to aging and how to slow down the aging process, and everything related. So I'm not going to say more. I'm just saying don't miss it because there's important information for all of you.
And that'll be on the Wednesday, the day before the trade show, 1:15. So
yes.
Don't miss us there.
Absolutely. We'll put details.
We'll put the details in the notes here.
Excellent. But
and
what about
booth
you?
Space.
What
lots
not
and
to
lots
miss?
of booth space.
Yes.
We've got some of our tried and trues. We're going to have BioSteel there, Antipodes, Pacifica will have a great display. Yeah. And then some new surprises. We've got Dutchman's Gold, who's going to be there. Nutrimin, new gummy supplement that we've got, which will be nice.
Come and taste.
Smart Sweets is going to be launching their Barbie SKU. And long-awaited caramels.
Yeah, that's actually their best-selling SKU in the U.S. And for those who like caramels, the back-in-time caramel, that one is typically that is the same flavor. A lot of people go from in the U.S. and bring back bags because they love it so much. Yeah. Make sure you come by.
Yeah. And we're going to send everybody on a little scavenger hunt through our the Purity Life Village.
Yes.
And then that can get you a chance to compete to win. We're going to send you to our BioSteel booth. And
I like that. Some competition out there.
Exactly.
So don't miss our aisle. And there's a lot to taste, a lot to participate in. And we'll all be there to welcome you in our aisle.
So welcome, Suzie. Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here, and congrats on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. I know a lot of our listeners probably know you from Suzie's Good Fats, from Love Good Fats. Now you're with FourX Better Chocolate. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, I turned 50 and I went from a corporate VP of marketing CMO to thinking, wait a minute, I've been working with all these founders and CEOs and I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And I'd been a single mom for 10 years and I'd save a little bit of money. My kids were a bit older. So my famous 3 excuses that kept me away from being an entrepreneur, I was kind of punching through them. I had a little bit of money, I had an idea, and I had a little bit of time. My kids were getting a bit older, so I was like, okay, well, what excuse do I have left now?
Right.
And I think I jumped into it blindly because this was 2016-17, so it was before CPG, like Wild West, I called it.
Right.
And so there was kind of the pre-Wild West. I lived the Wild West, and then my first brand went to 100 million revenue in 36 months and $7 million months, and it was totally, and it was right in the middle of the Wild West of CPG brands. So there was money being thrown at you, and then distributors and retailers were listing you, and I went to 87 Whole Foods in the US, like myself as a founder, and it was then COVID hit.
Right.
So you kind of had 3 phases for starting a company, and I had the right idea at the right time where the environment was open to founders being able to launch a good idea. And I launched prior to keto because I read the book Big Fat Surprise, but keto didn't start right away. It was just a low carb bar.
Yeah.
And then as keto took off, because
You were the
Once
one.
that book was written, then Dr. Hyman wrote, then there was 10 other books. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to write a book. I'm a marketer. So it was just like everything was perfect. The market conditions were open to like, you know, a single mom with a great idea. And then, hey, you can sell 100 million. Like I kind of showed that it can be done. And then the trend was there. So like, and there was money, there was funding.
Right.
Then COVID, you know, I launched an on-the-go like bar, like this is you know this is for
your new
on-the-go.
baby, yes,
and then on to go like died like
Disappeared.
40%,
Yeah.
and then you even had some retailers that did like you know aggressive like in advance of the trend, basically cleared out their shelves and wanted to sell masks or whatever else. So then you have a multiplying effect where the consumer maybe still wanted to buy bars and protein bars, say. Right. You know, everyone was eating cereal and was, you know, baking bread, like we know.
Bread,
And then the average weight gain was 19 pounds, I think, in the first 12 months, like in the US.
Boy.
It was massive. But the retailers just said, you know, no, we're on the go. So now you kind of had the other extreme.
Yeah.
I was pretty fortunate, like I did, you know, Sunday, like many CEOs, get the Sunday emergency management meeting, 5 tactics, protect our employees, first and foremost, protect our brand, protect our cash flow, protect our supply chain. Yeah. And we raised we shifted gears, we raised 12 million angel round, and we were kind of okay. But COVID was like, it nearly took a 3-year toll. And
just the bar, like bars themselves or snacks, it's already difficult because you have to, you know, the runs and the changing, the texture offer and the variety that you have. So it's difficult to go
very
into
challenging.
that.
And we kind of, you know, we made decisions like hindsight, you know, no one could have expected COVID, but hindsight, you know, the VC kind of thought like, hey, we have a couple brands, and when they got to, you know, we were 47 million year 2, we'll put, you know, a CEO that's done this before. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to growth officer role or something like that. That's pretty common for founders. Not this quick, but you don't have brands that get to 47 million year 2.
That's quick,
But then, you know, in retrospect, like COVID hit, we didn't change. We kept the course. And so like, you know, the last 3 years I was on the sidelines, and then it's really hard, I think, you guys would know better because you see hundreds and hundreds of brands, but you know, a founder is in the stores, knows the brands. I launch 18 SKUs
the
myself.
Core passion of it.
And I heard, like I was listening to consumers, we don't want this ingredient out.
Yeah.
Next production runs in 12 weeks. I'm uploading the artwork now. Here's the PO now. Yeah. We're launching 2 plant-based now. We're launching shakes now. Like big CPG, I've worked in 5 of them, don't work like a founder. You know, you nothing against big CPG, it's my background. But as a marketer, you're in a focus group.
Yeah.
When you're a founder, like I was at every single consumer show, every single trade show, decisions were so easy. Yeah. Like I still do my research and my positioning and
but
my
you
stuff.
Hear what people want.
You're there. Right? You're talking to the best retailers, the best distributors in the country. Yeah. So I think, you know, knowing what we know now, I'm a founder at heart.
Yes.
And, you know, I wouldn't have
the passion.
I wouldn't have kind of stepped, you know, knowing what I know now, I like from a brand perspective, like it's hard shoes to fill because you're still a small brand. We're 20 or 30 million. That's big for Canada, but it's still
in the industry.
But it's still a small brand. So you can't, you know, having someone, I've managed 200 million portfolios, but you have someone with not the experience of A, startup, B, entrepreneur, C, you're running one brand and trying to kind of step in. It's a different dynamic. So it didn't go as well as we all wanted it to go in the last 3 years. And I was on, you know, the sidelines in the sense of I'm one of
and your
board
creative
members.
mind juice was still running, right? Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, you know, I took a CMO corporate job because I, you know, built my career on that, and I was doing that for 8 months, and then I met. Through LinkedIn, I was getting a lot of outreach, and that's how I started Founders Helping Founders too, because I was bombarded with, hey Suzie, like I get 20 or 30 DMs a day. Yes, I have to sort out I have to sort out the cold calls from awesome calls. Yeah. So it was an awesome call, and was like, hey, we have a little factory. It's bean to bar. It's in South America. South America has the best beans in the world. Better tasting chocolate starts with the cacao beans. Belgium, Switzerland buy their cacao from South America, but then they have chocolatiers, but the beans come from South America, and there's killer bean to bars, bean to bar factories there. It's just South America hasn't done a really good job to market.
Right.
Belgium and Switzerland has. So I was like, oh, okay. Start tasting the chocolate, and it's like, oh, by the way, we can make an actual full multivitamin or sleep or whatnot, like a full, instead of a gummy bear. And I was like, whoa, like that's a big idea.
That's a good timing, because that's like the better for you kind of trend that was coming there.
So then I was like, wait a minute, like gummy bears. I mean, I worked as a VP of marketing 10 years ago, and I had retailers say, oh no, gummy bears is just like for kids and it's 2% market share.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Gummy bears, and that's 20% of a $55 billion industry. So I kind of knew, like, and we know all the issues with gummy bears, and I'm like, oh my God, right? Like, one of my little chocolate replaces 6 to 18 gummy bears.
Right.
So I was like, okay, wait, like there's something there, and then you can make them finally a chocolate that's great tasting too. So I kind of started with this idea. Canada takes 2 years to launch vitamins, so we're nearly there. We're I think a month away.
Yeah, the NPNs.
Yeah,
and
we're like it's so. I know your podcast.
Yes.
Your podcast is outside of Canada, but Canadians know that you have to get the little number here that you don't quite have on all of them. But then I said, look, there's a place for a functional chocolate, just like a healthier chocolate.
How do you find your ideas?
It just
because you're a wealth of like creation juice.
Yeah.
Every time we talk to you, you always have those ideas that are so. Like, how do you smell that it's the way to go? Because I mean, you've done the fabulous product before, and now you're coming with that idea that seems to be totally on trend, because the better for you, people love chocolate and they want to get their vitamin in, but maybe they're starting from very conventional, and now you're giving them the chance to have the in between, right? They have their treat, but so is it because your knowledge of all the market and numbers, or it's just your gut that tells you that?
Yeah, there's something. The female gut, my gut, like, she's amazing. And I think, like, I have this weird brain, right? I now know I'm on the spectrum a little bit, and I didn't know. And I'm also lesbian, late life spectrum lesbians supposedly were something. I don't know. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
And I'm an electrical engineer by training. Like, I had literally straight A's in math and physics, and I went to McGill Electrical Engineering. Like, I can't literally I can't put a light bulb in anything, but I'm I was very theoretical.
Right.
But then I wanted to be in business, because I had this kind of right brain stuff with my gut.
Intuition.
Like, marketing, I did the blood drive, we quadruple the records ever. And I kind of had this little nerd. I was this nerd.
Yeah.
I was this kind of engineer nerd walking around. But then I had like these ideas, like all the time. Yeah. And I didn't really, because of kind of the little bubble I kind of was living in a little bit. I just kind of never saw myself the way like that. I kind of knew what to do with it, but I went at one of the best marketing companies in the world, P&G, and then followed my boss at Frito-Lay, and I launched Acetos into Canada. Doritos was declining. I was on the Better For You portfolio, which was low fat, so that was not better for you, but back then it was. And then I went into weight loss with dietary supplements, vitamins, dietary supplements, and Weight Watchers. So I had like 10 years of VP of marketing weight loss, and then I had 12 years of just food. But I always had, like, I was known for the turnaround agent, like Heinz Ketchup declined for 10 years. Okay, let's call Suzie. Yeah, and it, I'm very much about process. I'm about like the 4 Ps and what I teach at the Founders and what I learned at P&G. I memorize everything. I use the same tools. The process will help you turn around a brand. So I worked, Ketchup was declining 10 years. Weight Watchers was declining 10 years. There's not like, Love Good Fats look like a magic bullet, but the process was there.
Right.
You got to have the positioning, you have to have the product that delivers on the promise of the positioning, you have to have the right price value. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to know those basics, and then the P&L, which is your cash flow and your awareness and trial. You can have the best ideas in the world, and in the founders world, in the natural world, there's a lot of good ideas, but the 4 Ps are not all working. Yeah. So the brand name's a bit off, the packaging's off, or the product you know, if you don't have a great tasting product, like forget it.
Yeah.
You know, like you could have the best anything in the world.
You don't get the second buy from the retail, the person who shopped, right? You get the look, the price point maybe, and then they taste and it's like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
So I think at my age, I have a combination of, you know, a database of, I worked on 22 natural brands in consulting before I started my brand and then since. So I'm a little walking database.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that kind of helps me figure things out. You still have to put the work in, you know, or still like there's still kind of work. I'm going to evolve this packaging. I'm maybe going to evolve this packaging. This came in second. Like you still have
always
to put
questioning,
in,
right? And keep the momentum going on that.
And that's the magic with the natural space. You know, big CPG. There was an awesome multinational that I spent a lot of time and with Love Good Fats. We were just a baby 2-year brand, and they were big. You know, one of the big boys, girls brands, and they also launched keto bars, and a whole bunch of others, and twice, and it didn't work. Right. You know,
so it's
like
more than having the cash behind too, right?
So it's, you know, innovation has a high fail rate in the big multinationals also. Now in natural, it's really hard post-COVID. So a lot of founders are having a hard time. I run the founders group just because the conditions are even harder for the small guys. You know, supplements, the awful, you know, new supplement Health Canada Act will really make it hard for us. So the big will get bigger. But, you know, when you have a good idea and you have good partners and you play fair, you play nice, you want everyone to win. With Love Good Fats, everyone was winning. You know, we went quickly in all the channels. The channel, like it was incredible because we got to 29% awareness by year 2. So that helps build a brand.
That's significant.
That's oxygen to a brand.
And you're mentioning a lot of the group, the founders that you're helping. Was it after, congratulations on the win, your Women's of Influence that you won, and then we see on LinkedIn and you're really helping, and it's generosity for you to help them. So when did you start that actually to?
It really, like it started like just in January 2 years ago, I was bombarded with all these awesome founders wanting like a half hour.
Right.
And then, you know, on a drive here and a weekend there, and I had my CMO job. I was still on the board of Love Good Fats, and I was like, okay, you know, this is kind of pretty busy.
No, crazy.
And then I met 8 of them. I had like kind of free coaching sessions during a CHFA, so we were on the couch and we're just kind of working through right after your trend stuff. I'm like, okay, here, pick a slot. And then I'm like, I'm always going through the same thing, right? So they'd be like, okay, I want to talk about cash flow, pricing strategy, distributor, what do I do, launching in the US. They all had the same questions, but even if you're really strong, I've worked on 200 brands, 30 years, you still kind of have to go through, okay, what's your positioning, what's your product, what's your price? Like you need the basics. So then I kind of just said, okay, let me here's the form. Right? Like if you're pitching to Arlene or Dragon's Den, this is your positioning. Here's the form. What's your insight? Who's your enemy? Like what's the tension? What's the idea come from? Then your benefit flows out of it. And your benefit can't be, a long sentence of reading logos. Like that's not a benefit. The consumer is busy. She's selfish. Right? What's in it for me is our saying.
And
what's
I want
in it
my
for me?
own for me. Exactly.
So your benefit is not like I rock. No, the benefit is how will I improve your life?
What's my personal,
and then why should you believe me? And then your brand character. So then I started kind of like, okay, guys, like if you want to meet me, fill in the Word document, like fill in these blanks.
That's a structure to start up with.
So it really just started like that. And then I have this awesome woman, Karen, who's in cannabis. And she said, I know you're super busy. I'm going to partner. She's also worked in 5 multinationals, but on the ops side. So it was perfect.
So
it was meant to be. So we started off with just like, okay, like we're just going to get together once a month and we're going to do some fun events. And now we're like
LinkedIn and things like that. You do? Yeah.
And then we quickly got to like 300 people. We have 120 active on WhatsApp, like all day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
Wow.
And we're keeping
cool.
it exclusive to us because it has to be safe in the sense of who's a good supplier, who's a good partner, what about this, what about that, what about this contract, what about freight, what about this.
Yeah, there's
so it's
information.
super practical, super practical. Today was like Porter has great deals to fly out to CHFA. Everyone's buying flights, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's super practical.
It's super important, and that's so good that you do that because as a distributor, we have a lot of brands that come to us, and we have to go back.
Send them.
Because we have to go back. As you said, sometimes they're looking for a magic recipe, but it's the 4 P's of marketing. You need to go through that, and it's not. And I don't want to sound bad, but it's not enough to have a good product.
No,
as you said,
you need to know the basics.
Pricing
it's a separate idea, and I know on va se rencontrer, but we
Yes.
could do like the module. Like I have modules.
Yes.
Like we could just do the modules, and I had another distributor say the same thing because
absolutely
these founders that have great ideas, they come to the distributors, and then no one's as optimized, right? Because you're trying to figure out what's the positioning, what's the product, do they have the right price curves,
and then the pricing is wrong, and then they can't support the store because the pricing is totally off, and then we tell them, well, you need to up your price, and they're like, I didn't account for that. But that's the
they don't understand. Like I did 2 modules on the price curves.
Yes.
Like, many of the founders didn't realize the distributor pricing has to be here.
And sure. There's cost to everything in the chain, right?
And there needs to be a happy place, and there can be a happy place, but if you mess this up and you mess that up,
if you can't hit the basics properly, you're not.
So that's
one
modules I did, but I think like we should talk about it separately because I'm now hearing from like that
it is
the groups
something
like
we want to help.
And you guys don't have time to coach every single group on the basics.
This is the thing too, right? I mean, you see these good brands and these great
Mm-hmm.
founders, and you want to support them, but at the same time, you can only kind of give so much support and so much feedback without getting really involved in that. And when you're really involved in succeeding your own business and other brands that you're already working with, you can only put so much into it. So, but it's difficult, I think, because we always do want to step in and kind of want to support that and offer that, but it's hard to do.
We should chat a little bit because Karen and I just did our AOPs, our 2024 AOP for Founders Helping Founders, and we have some tactics, right? We want to continue to raise the bar with what we provide to our members and how we serve our partners. So we have our members and then our partners. We're still free. It's still, not a big, that's for now. It's still it's manageable right now, but I think it's worth it. Like I have a full-time job with, launching my second brand. We're still small, we're in the hundreds of thousands. We're not in the millions.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I get a lot out. There was a saying, I'm French Quebecer, my grand-mère is Galipo, we grew up Catholic and just, I'm getting a lot back. And in the end, like things come around, right? Like good things happen to good people, and sometimes it's not all about like the exact penny at that exact moment in this. So
it's just the feeling of it too, right? When we help a brand and we can help them to succeed, it's just like like selling natural product also, right? We help people to have better lives. So every day is not just about how much money we're going to make out of that brand,
but improving the lives of other people,
improving lives of other people.
December 2016, I met someone at your team before I met you, and then I met you. Like I met you and Dale, and right away you said this is a big idea. And then you helped me because I needed help with some of the basics, and then my chocolates were melting, and I got a phone call a day before Christmas. A text and then a phone call, and I delayed my launch by 4 months. And that was a gift because, it was just like, hey, Suzie, you might not have realized I'd done all the testing. So then I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the oven, I'm reformulating, I'm buying every single other bar. And then you waited for me, and then my first meeting with you, Julie, you said, this is going to be big. And you told me who was big back then, the other fat brand. And we knew, and then I went to your annual meeting and we worked the peer. I probably met 30 purity reps one-on-one in the field. We took over every region we were going. The purity reps are the best on the planet. Like it's a partnership.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
like I wouldn't have hit those numbers had I stayed in my kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I was
definitely.
like and I was
But
like,
thank
okay,
you.
I want this rep, I had every single phone number, I had every single email, and we were meeting in the field.
Yeah.
That's
so
good. Good to hear, because that's what we want to be there for, and very excited to hear more about your new brand. We'll call it new brand. There's still babies out
baby
there.
brand,
So if you want to walk us through a little bit for those who are listening and not watching, we're looking at the better FourX Better Chocolate. Exactly.
Yeah. So after I met this guy that had a little factory, and I'm not a big beer drinker, but I obviously know about craft beer and like the whole momentum of the last 10 years of craft beer. And I was like, wow, it's craft chocolate. And then as I started figuring out more about just the benefits of just forget all the other stuff we have, which I'll get to in a sec, but just a craft chocolate in itself is better for the land. Like already in Ecuador, the land is richer soil. In South America, it's families. So it's really a garden, not a farm.
Right.
It's a backyard garden. Like it's families with backyard gardens.
Yeah.
And then if you process pretty quickly, you have better cacao beans, and you have fermentation in the wood boxes that you see with the sacks that you see that the cacao beans in, and the leaves in the sacks, and then air dried. And there's, the 10 basins, because you have to rotate every day with a different basin with different different amount of time, so you have different dryness. So it's not like, production windmills. So they have to rotate the basins and then it goes in the factory, and you roast the chocolates based on small, medium, large beans.
Oh, really?
Smaller beans get roasted quicker.
Right.
So you sort you on site, you sort, and then you
a lot
roast.
of work.
Yeah.
But then at the end, you have 4 to 5 times more antioxidants.
Right.
Cacao,
Because it's not pushed.
because it's not not processed, no alkali. So many chocolates, you just turn the packaging, processed with alkali. Some are processed, they don't say it.
Right.
But you don't need any of that to have the pure taste. If you start with real cacao, all of these 5 steps, their only job is bring out flavor, bring out flavor, bring out flavor, bring out flavor. So you get at the end a lot of flavor, and you haven't had any processing. So you have more antioxidants, more flavonoids, and I'm doing HPLC testing to be able to make a claim without getting in trouble. And you have better flavor that's developed. You haven't added even natural flavoring. There's no natural flavoring here. You don't need to add natural flavoring. So nothing. So I was like, okay, there's magic there. There's not been any good marketers in South America that's brought this to North America. I'm a marketer. That's job one. And then I'm like, oh, wait, you don't need sugar. Okay, so how do we make this chocolate? And this factory had figured out there's a lot of chocolates now that are looking at lower sugar, but in my humble opinion, we'll start doing some taste testing. But in my humble opinion, these chocolates they're like no other, some chocolates.
Open a bag.
Yes, please do.
I have to, because now I'm just like, I want that piece of chocolate there.
So we of course I'm,
here.
good fats, low sugar. The enemy is sugar. So I wasn't going to make a chocolate with the sugar that I was addicted to for 20 years. And then it's like, okay, but we need protein and MCT oil, make creamier. Like, why don't we add good ingredients?
Texture.
And then vitamins and supplements, and then coincidentally, and protein. And coincidentally, Health Canada decided that, again, the fate was on my side. Health Canada, after 40 years, decided it's time to have supplemented food.
Right.
Just when I'm launching.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, change the facts, and then I can add all of these vitamins, because Health Canada has realized that food is being eroded of nutrients. Supplemented foods allows us to supplement. Boom. Fortified chocolate, functional chocolate, and goodbye gummies.
That's
Voila.
And talk to me about this one here that we're going to open, the Protein Me, prebiotics in it. And as you said, real chocolate. So protein wise, where?
So the idea is you can buy a protein bar and get around 8 to 10 grams of protein. There's some super protein bars, so we're not competing with the 20 gram protein bars. But it's a real pure chocolate. C'est bon.
Très, très bon. I have to say it in French because it's even better than it's très bon.
So it's pure chocolate. And, up to now, you could buy chocolate bars or protein bars, and many protein bars, you look at the ingredients and it's compound chocolate.
Yeah,
right?
the coating.
It's coating. It's called coating. So
Yeah.
it's not chocolate.
Yeah.
So, and I know, I'm maybe a little bit ahead of the curve, because it was like, oh, but Suzie, if it's chocolate, it goes over there in the chocolate aisle and it's chocolate. And it's like, who decided that if you're a pure chocolate with protein, well, like, a million years ago, chocolate was defined as needing all of this awful sugar and compound, like for a chocolate bar, and that goes in that aisle. But why can't we have a snack that's better tasting, better for you, and make chocolate healthy again?
Yeah.
So I'm really pushing the boundaries. We're one of the first brands. Thank you, Purity Life. Our single-serve pouches are rolling out in stores right now. We have a couple of the largest banners, natural banners in Canada, that I've put them in their stores, and we're going to be in the nutritional bar set.
That's what I was to ask.
Yeah.
Where would you say to a retailer, because to put it that you
nutritional
want to
bar set, because you don't want to be with chocolates. It has different formats and pouches, and it's all candy. Like why would we put like a healthy chocolate with candy? There's a place for candy, not in my house, but there, and in nutritional bars, they're starting to push more and more like infuse in different formats. So there's little cups and there's little balls, and people want stuff on the go. So I took the box and put it on the go in a little pouch.
Yeah, and I can see the one as protein. You can put it beside your protein powder and have it like clip strip beside. The Beauty Me the same. So you can buy your supplements.
Cross merchandising opportunities.
Exactly. And for those who are listening, the packaging is really very nice, very colorful. You see a piece of the bite that you will have the pleasure to take. To enjoy exactly. So those are available now.
Yep.
So we've
the
got
single serve pouches we're rolling out now. The boxes have been out for a few months. And I am kind of, the grand mission is to change the world. Like, Good Fats was about making better, like fats are okay. They don't, not all of them. And so now it's really about like chocolate. I grew up feeling guilty eating chocolate.
Right.
And even in my 40s, I did 7 Ironmans. Like I was, but I was having my little treat was milk chocolate, because I was addicted to sugar, and I couldn't get off my sugar addiction because I was on a low-fat diet.
Right.
Well, if you're on a low-fat diet, you're gonna have sugar cravings. Like because what do you eat protein, and so now I'm like, okay, well, chocolate can be healthy. Cacao has more antioxidants and flavonoids than most superfoods that are super loaded with cacao berry per gram.
Yes.
But no one knows that.
No.
And no one eats chocolate for the antioxidants and flavonoids in the cacao, because by the time they buy the chocolate process at the end, it's stripped away, and there's bad sugar and oils.
Yeah, because you see the trend of higher percentage, like the 70, 80%, 80 gram of dark chocolate. I've seen like on the shelf, you see an expansion of that. So people are looking for that. But as you're saying, the rest of the ingredient deck is, so you're making a better choice in a way.
And it's bitter.
And they're still getting that processed.
So I have work to do. I have work to do, because like a lot of people said, well, what's the percentage? I said, well, the percentage doesn't really matter, because it's dark in milk and there's 0 gram of sugar. So the percentage doesn't matter. And then people are like, what? Yeah. Because the percentage is percentage of cacao versus sugar. So healthier.
Is that what
people,
that percentage actually refers to?
Really? So when they say that, it's like
so when it's
cacao and then
so then
the rest
everyone
is sugar.
Who's more in our industry knows that, I want to be careful. I'm going to eat a higher percentage.
Okay.
But then it's bitter. The more you
sure
remove the sugar, it's bitter, because no one has really done this.
Right.
So I got to figure out a little bit. The bean to bar is really important. The percentage, there's still a lot of people saying, well, I'm not going to buy a 60% because it's not good for me. So now I'm going to have to evolve how I educate.
Yeah. That's absolutely.
Chocolate can, like my tagline, I'll have to figure out how to make sure I can make claims, but it's about making chocolate healthy again.
Yeah.
And we have our generation.
No guilt.
Yeah. But our generation is like, there's work to do.
Yeah.
So it can be just take out the bad stuff, add good stuff, and keep the process clean, do the right thing for the planet. Of course, we're fair trade, do the right thing for the
Yeah,
planet.
you have lots
and
of
the
good
farmers.
calling on that on your brand, right? You have fair trade, women-owned,
LGBT-owned now,
yes.
and and then gluten-free, soy-free, and no nothing artificial and all that. So we're trying to do kind of our part, but it's a brand from scratch again. So Scrappy Suzie.
You're strong women. You're strong. You're very strong. Yeah, you're very strong. So that's fantastic. And thank you for sharing all of that with us. And I'm sure we're going to continue to partner and work on all those things. But we have some rapid fire questions that we'd like to ask.
Let's go.
I'll let you break the ice.
So I'm interested. If you were, obviously you're very entrepreneurial and lots of ideas. If you were going to start a new company outside of this industry, what would it be?
Oh, it would be, I haven't thought about what I would start, but it would be outside because I'm so focused in packaged goods. I would try to find something that makes me more efficient, and so something related to voice and commands. I'm sure someone might exist. Like if there's a way to be more efficient with the voice and then the mind, which is the next step, these goggles and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of you remove like the noise of stuff, and then you don't have to do steps.
Yeah.
An AI chip incorporated.
Yeah, like in here that, you don't even need to say skip this
It
or
just
get
does
to
it
that. It
because
just
it-
does it. So I'm sure by the time our kids are...
Your engineer brain is coming out.
But I'm so not but the world will be so different in 20, 30 years, so that'll all probably be all kind of sorted out. But we're still so manual with everything.
Right. Yeah.
So something in that area, efficiency.
Nice.
Fascinating.
I like that.
And what is something that people don't know about you and they would be surprised?
Well, I'm open book, I'm from Quebec, I'm adopted, I'm lesbian now, late lesbian, I'm on the spectrum. So that's kind of more well known. I have a twin brother, we were adopted together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've done 11 Ironmans, there's lots of addiction,
Wow.
Ironman triathlons.
11.
There's a lot of
And you
addiction
still train
around.
a lot, right?
No, I started back, I've had, hiatus. 20s was 4 Ironmans, including Hawaii. 30s
That's a tough
was...
one.
like single mom, tough breakup. I ran once a week. That was bad. So then midlife crisis at 40.
Yeah. Right.
And then 7 Ironmans, 10 years of racing, and then launched a company at 50. And then I kind of had, cycles of in and out. And now I'm in a really good cycle where I try to do yoga like 4 times a week, hot yoga, and I'm going to bike soon. I don't bike in the winter. I don't like, and then the Toronto Marathon called me and they want me to be their human spokesperson, voice, whatever.
Cool.
So now I have to train.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's amazing. Was it your son that trained with you to do one, or you was
a triathlon last summer? It was a baby triathlon. It was like I don't know, an hour. Ironman is like 12 hours. It was so much fun. I thought he would smoke me. He's 18.
Yeah.
And I'm slow twitch, so I'm better in Ironman. I would podium in Ironman and
Then
then
the sprint.
Right.
But it was a sprint. And, mom did pretty good.
Excellent.
Yes. It was so
Excellent.
fun. So, but now he's been running a lot. He's at McGill. He's already whipping off 30K. So
Yeah.
he might run it he might sign up with me, but he'll be like an hour ahead of me
Right.
in the
Yeah.
marathon. Yeah. He's
Cool.
talented. So we'll see.
You've mentioned a couple of times this late lesbian and on the spectrum. How has that impacted your journey?
The world was very different back then. And even when I started working, sexual harassment at the office, there was a whole bunch of stuff happening in all these offices where it's like, well, no, that's not appropriate, right? Like,
Right.
That
like,
changed.
hello,
quite a bit,
you can't talk to women like that. You can't touch women. You can't do like, hello, but it was kind of the norm. I was at McGill in electrical engineering. We're 11 women out of like 80.
Yeah.
You certainly, McGill had an LGBT group, but like in engineering, like we had a saying, like, I don't even know if I can say it here.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was
Like,
the reality.
Yeah,
Like that was.
yeah, like it was like it was just like, oh my God, right? So now we have, and my daughter is of all the things I've done in my life, she's most proud about being out and proud and kind of being a voice for others. And I really just started that with my brand, and that was pretty bold, right? I had a board, I had advisors, I had a lot of cis white, older men, Caucasian men around me, and I was, loud and proud, and it was hello, like what's going on here, and it's, and I grew up Catholic. So there's multi layers of implications of kind of the generation I grew up in. I think for me, kind of being a little bit on the spectrum protected me. Yeah. Because I kind of missed, I was a nerd. Okay. I kind of missed what I missed.
Right.
In my corporate years, I know that I would say things in a way that I'm trying to compliment someone, and I'm actually insulting them.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Right? Unbeknownst to you.
Yeah. So the corporate world, wasn't like I was the change agent. I would come in 4 years, 2 years, turn things around because I had these ideas. Like I was a pure entrepreneur. So I think I got protected despite kind of, I never really had discrimination as an LGBT. I didn't, not that I know, even though we were in a world where women
that wasn't there yet, right?
So, so it's definitely kind of formed who I am. Like I'm determined, I'm perseverant, I'm like buzz off, like, okay, knock me down, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get up, like buzz off, right? Like just, I don't care, like, okay, whatever, right? And I'm not enough on social media to be bullied. But if I were, on TikTok and I was bullied, like people get bullied when they get famous, like whatever, right? Like just so I think it's created a resiliency, but also a commitment to make a change. You know, I've won an LGBT, like the CLGLCC award for entrepreneurship, and I was close to being able to retire with Love Good Fats, and all I would have done is spend, any money I had made and the rest of my years giving back to women and LGBT. Like we had like the whole foundation mapped out, Nikki and I. The path didn't go there. Yeah. Maybe it'll go there. Yeah. Maybe
you're doing extremely generous of your time with that founder. So I think that you're actually doing for other groups, but I mean it's already helping.
I'm trying to.
You're not busy.
I'm trying. But ask if you have a big task to do. Ask a busy person to do it. So, so I think it kind of it all kind of works really well. And I'm pretty I get up crazy early at 4 or 5. I'm happy. I drink really strong coffee. And, I'm super energized. I love kind of my
this
life.
Morning.
Yeah, and that was late, right? I'm up between 4 and 5, and you're so I just it's my life is really great. I live on the beach. I run the sun, it's tough. Being an entrepreneur is tough. And I walked the beach with my daughter and our 3 dogs yesterday, and I was complaining, right, because she's 24, so I can complain about this silly thing that's just like, oh my God, I had 28 hours with Meta, with Facebook, because we had all these things that weren't working. So I'm like the founder, and I have to literally be on calls with this customer support team to fix the issues. So I'm complaining to my daughter, and she's like, Mom, you're an entrepreneur. Of course you have to do some stuff that you didn't do when, you had a team and you're in big companies. So I'm like, I can't get away with, she doesn't let me get away with anything. So I got a bit of a reality check and said, even on the days where I'm like, this is the path I've chosen since age 50. And I love it. Well. I love it. And there'll be, there's lots of, I get kind of beat up here and there with a lot of stuff, but that's the path we choose. Yeah. And we'll find a way. When you have a great product and great idea, it'll find a way. Like in 10 years from now, we're all going to be eating healthier chocolate, and sugar consumption's going to go down, and pop consumption. I mean, look at just the last, I know it's, I don't know if it's rapid fire, but look at what's happening. A Super Bowl ad. Yeah. On, you have Poppy and the other fiber, you have fiber drinks going head to head with pop. I'm going head to head with gummies, so I know I could probably get bombarded. I don't have Sugar Bowl ad budgets yet, but you have a drink that's fiber. Trend.
On the Super Bowl.
I was one of the co-founders of one of those 2 companies. Took me to Air One. To the 3 Air Ones 5 years ago, and now it's a $200 or $300 million company with a Super Bowl ad saying we're the new pop. we're the new chocolate.
Excellent.
Right? Like the world is going to change, and it's changing. Who would have thought that you'd be drinking fiber and calling it pop?
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, even the consumption of alcohol has declined, and that's where the energy, energy,
like,
and the younger generation are looking for those other type of drinks because their consumption is very, very down.
We didn't talk. I'm going to put adaptogens on my next packaging run because my chocolates have 2, or the vitamins have 3 adaptogens. The chocolates have 1 to 2. Yeah. But, you know, we only just discovered adaptogens. Adaptogens are herbs. There's 70 or 72 of them. And they're mini accelerators. They're little multipliers. They're mini computers in your cells. Yeah. So that little adaptogen, that little mushroom that you think is just like a little herb. No, it's a little computer that takes the same little cell, the same little herb, and multiplies it. So in our vitamins, we've put ashwagandha in every one of them. We've put piperine in every one of them. You have like these little, we didn't know about adaptogens. Yeah. Now everyone wants adaptogens.
It's a big thing. Yeah. But it's fascinating, and it's great to be in this industry because there's constantly movement, and there's definitely huge opportunities. So we're very thankful that you were with us today. And
merci.
Yes, thank you so much. It was a great pleasure, and we're going to definitely continue to finish our chocolate here because it's so good.
Thanks so much, Suzie.
Thanks. So now we're on to our new to Purity Life, and for those who are listening, it is a brand called Elani New, but it's very colorful,
very
like a
bright.
lot of bright colors.
Yeah.
That brand has been brought on because we're looking for more of that performance sports nutrition to service some of our retailers that are on the market. And we have 2 categories. So they have their protein drinks, and then the energy drinks. So let's talk about the protein one.
Oh, I think we should try them out. We've got 5 different flavor options. So I'm holding vanilla. You have
the fruit cereal, like the Fruit Loops back in time. We'll see if it's...
There's cookies and cream. This one's called Munchies. So the packaging shows some pretzels, some caramel, some cookies on it. And then we have
sweet and
chocolate. And I will say all of the packaging does have like feminine energy to it. It's all...
That's what I believe that the brand wanted to catch is a lot of that energy or performance nutrition. The packaging is very masculine, like dark skull and all of this, where it could scare off some women's out there, but they still want to have that performance, extra little lift, energy, a boost with the
this
caffeine.
One reads very high energy, fun, vibrant.
Yes, pastel color, beautiful line. So let's cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, that's actually good.
Yes. It's very mild. It's very mild. It's kind of a milk with added a little bit of that flavor, so it's not overpowering. Yeah. Often when you have drinks like that, it's so sweet that you have to cut it off or you just get sick of it.
You're right. It's not overly sweet. Usually that is the case. And usually that's a bit of a put off for me, to be honest. But this is nice. It's not overly sweet.
You know what I'm thinking? There's a lot of that Ensure on the market. Which is definitely not clean, although this has different ingredients. I would say that it's a good option for women's that are looking for a little bit more protein, something on the go. And even if we think about older population, it's easy to drink. It's not, again, that overpowering. It is certainly easy
to drink, yes.
And it's fun, so pretty cool.
Let's check out these energy drinks.
Yes. So I'll be very delicate on the sip of that because lots of energy in this person here. So I have this one is Breeze Berry, which is a blue raspberry, basically.
This one is Cosmic Stardust.
Ooh, don't know what's going to happen to you there.
Some planets.
Yeah, we're at 15 calories, 140 milligram of caffeine.
Yeah, they're all in like 140, 150 sort of thing, right? And theanine, guarana seed.
So the guana will definitely give you the kick, but the L-theanine would actually help you with not having jitters.
Ooh,
so
grapey.
Wow. Yeah, mine is very blueberryish. I would say that would be beautiful on ice.
Yes.
Very good. So very exciting brand. If you're looking for something that is more sports nutrition oriented with that little kick, not only kick on the shelf on the what
I
it
was going to
looks
say,
like.
yeah, that's going to jump off your shelf. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a good one to try. So thank you for listening to this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and send us your feedback at marketing@puritylife.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at PurityLifeLProductLP and myself at JD_girlpower.
And I'm at Erin G. Macklin. And definitely come back next week. We're going to be interviewing Jeff Weigel from Banyan Capital Partners. And yeah, that'll be a good one too.
Yeah, see you then.